This team shouldn't work, but it does. Hello trainers, Ganeto here with my sunglasses for some Summer Cup action. We're gonna have a Jellicent up in front, a Shadow Typhlosion as our closer, while the safe switch is not that safe, but still it is gonna be our Razor Leafer Tropius. So overall Jellicent is the safest option that you can go with, while Shadow Typhlosion is gonna emerge as a pretty good closer and a mid-section Pokemon for any battle out there, especially when you can get ahead on those energy points with your Incinerates and of course wreak havoc even up against the Toxapex. So over here now we block the Brine while we can still keep going at it with another Thunder Punch to threat more shields along the way. My opponent goes for the shield here. Now that they are shieldless, we can easily get to the Blast Burn for that poor Emolga, one-shotting it down, and now with Tropius we're gonna send Toxapex back to Banana Island. Look at that Razor Leaf damage in combination with the Leaf Blade, and that is gonna be an immense victory while we still have the shield remaining and 3 Pokemon alive and well. Into the next battle now with the Pidgeot up in front. This is not the best lead ever, but at the same time I cannot switch out. My backline and especially Tropius will fall to that Pidgeot for sure, so I'm just gonna stay in here and see how this is gonna unfold. I'm just gonna go for more surfs at this point, even though the Feather Dance has debuffed our attack stat by a lot and another one is imminent. As always, I'm not blocking anything, gonna let them go through with those moves, and now with the next surf we're gonna drop them severely low. Even if they finish us off, I have a feeling that we have already done our job against that Pidgeot, and now we can easily come into the battle with our Tropius. What we need to do here is to potentially go ahead and grab at least a shield so that we can have the shield advantage over our opponents with our Shadow Typhlosion. And in doing so, the banana-like Pokemon is just gonna throw Leaf Blade over that poor Vigoroth. I know that I need to get some extra farm on my Typhlosion, so this Vigoroth has to go down to a single Incinerate. Blaziken is gonna be at the very end. What a surprise Pokemon that is, and now that they can resist my Incinerates and also catch the move on Pidgeot, we might actually be in a pickle. So down goes my Typhlosion now. We have access to Jellicent. All we need to do here is to get to another surf, but unfortunately for us that Shadow counter damage is still enough to take out our Ghost type Pokemon from this amount of HP. Into the next battle now with the Whiskas up in front. This Pokemon can always threat us with those Mud Bombs, while it is super bulky that can survive one Shadow Ball like a champ. We don't care at all though, because Jellicent is still gonna add up in damage with those Hexes charging up our charge attacks. On the switch we're meeting up with Charjabug, and this is why I enjoy this Razor Leafer in the current meta and state of Summer Cup. It is gonna provide a lot of pressure even when the move is resisted, so that you can still get eventually to your Aerial Aces or the Leaf Blades for some extra damage. So Tropius here is gonna be able to go for the knockout up against the Bug type Pokemon, and in the process we grab a shield. They get to the Volt Switch, which means that we can snipe them down with a pure Incinerate. This is absolutely awesome for us, and now with Whiskas coming into the game we can easily farm it down as well. We are already there to the double Thunder Punch, which means that we can grab the shield super easy here and still guarantee the knockout. Typhlosion really puts the word out there that is the better starter with its moveset. Down goes Charizard, and of course Typhlosion is just gonna emerge as a pure closer on this one. Another bad lead, this time a terrible one with a Victory Bell up in front. They have Magical Leaf, which is a pretty cool information to know for my backline, and now by switching in there with my Tropius we bait out of there the Pancake, which is also pretty great. Able to completely farm down here, flipping around that very bad lead that we had. Quagsire comes into the game. I have a feeling that they have no clue how to encounter counter my Tropius now, and now with their move being just the Aqua Tail or the Mud Bomb, we can easily survive their moves. Now let's get to the Aerial Ace for some extra pressure on their end. Typhlosion with those Incinerates, and that was a really bad team structure against my team because we can easily destroy them down without spending any sweat at all. Quagsire will just go down to the flames, and that is gonna be an amazing ending on this one as well with Typhlosion on Shadow mode. Into the next battle now with a Mountain up in front. Of course, all we need to do here is to get to those Shadow Balls, and as long as they stay in, this is gonna be a soft victory for us. And I'm saying soft because those Aerial Aces, when they're coming back to back, they can easily get the upper hand over my moves. So yeah, we're just gonna leave this one with a little bit of HP remaining, and then I will try to switch out, I guess, because you never know when Jellicent might actually be needed. But seeing the Lantern coming in makes me think that now we might have the upper hand with the alignment, and since now they have a Skeleton at the back, we can always outspeed to those charge attacks. They're gonna go as always for the Disarming Voice, but they need 3 for the first and 2 for the second, while we always need 2 Incinerates to get to a single Thunder Punch, which is a much better option for us. Now Thunder Punch is coming off, this time to grab their final shield out of play, and on the CMP, one more Thunder Punch to guarantee the knockout against the Clown Face. Now with only Lantern remaining, I guess that Tropius can absolutely wreak havoc on their defenses, so they just top left this battle. Into the next battle now, trainers, with a Toxapex up in front. So Toxapex is a Pokemon that whatever it throws to my Jellicent is gonna be resisted, and of course Vigoroth is no different other than Rock Slide, which can somehow hurt us, but still we can have the upper hand at the same time. Now with Tropius over Vigoroth, we can just have the upper hand with the Razor Leaves, with our typing, and of course Leaf Blade. I'm just gonna go for the shield here because I want to maintain that very good lead, but to be fair, if you were me, you could still let your Tropius take the move, because not only you could still reach on your Leaf Blades after the Body Slam, but also you still have the Thunder Punches, which means that Typhlosion can still have a chance up against the Toxapex. Now with Trevenant coming into the game, all we need to do is to block just once whatever they throw, completely farm down, and reach 2 more moves. So Thunder Punch here is definitely getting the shield out of play on the CMP. This is horrible for them, and someone call an ambulance, just not for me, because Jellicent is getting to the Shadow Ball for that knockout in combination with a little bit of extra help from those Hexes. Into the next battle now with Ferrothorn up in front. This is a terrible lead for us, and we're just gonna keep going at it with our Shadow Ball. So by using the Shadow Ball right after we block the move, we might actually be on a very good spot to snipe them down with an Incinerate, but they saw my switch coming in by a mile away. So I'm just gonna block here now the Weather Ball, and still gonna be able to outspeed them to the knockout bonus, because we can just reach to a couple of Thunder Punches before they get to a couple of Weather Balls. This is how strong Typhlosion can be in the meta. Now with the Weather Ball connecting, down we go, but to be fair, we can still have the upper hand with Jellicent, because there is no way at all that they can get to the Hurricane before we reach to a single Shadow Ball. Down goes that poor Pelipper. Now I'm just gonna switch out on my Tropius. They have at the very end a Mountain. I was hoping for a Mud Boy or something like it, but this Pokemon can still finish me off. They reach here to that Aerial Ace, which means that they either do not want to give a lot of energy on my Jellicent, or they just do not have Ice Beam at all. So down goes now my Tropius, but this is still gonna be looking like a solid one for us, because we can get with the clutch farm down over Mountain to the Shadow Ball on the CMP over the Grass type, and that is gonna be a fantastic ending on this one. into the final one out trainers with a Toxapex up in front. I know this is kinda good for us, and on the switch we're meeting up with a Charjabug, so the incinerate damage is absolutely crazy here, especially under shielding, and we managed to block twice here even though we know this is just the X-Scissor to guarantee the farm down. Toxapex now has to face the wrath of our electric moves, so by spending 2 shields sometimes on your Typhlosion is not always the worst scenario for you. Another Thunder Punch is already ready to go, but my opponent will count my moves and still throw that Brine. Now we're having so much energy stored up on our Jellicent, and since they have a Mud Boy at the very end, we managed to get the win with our Razor Leaves. That's gonna be all for today, trainers, but before you go, leave a huge like, subscribe to my content, and I hope to see you all into the next one.